we're live for the very, very first time. Brand new channel, Republic of Football. Lads, welcome along.
How's it going, lads?
How's it going, boys? How is
all
keeping?
good? All good in the hood.
Well, and for everyone that's just joined, big thanks for joining us for the very first show. I was going to say if this is your first time here, but it's everyone's first time here, including ourselves. So look, we're all here for the very first time. It's show number 1. This is going to become the home of football. The idea behind this show is we want to create a place for fans from all corners to get together. We can all get in, we can all have debates, we can have the banter. Any questions for the panel, you know what to do. You have the chat box on the side, crack away at the chats. We'd be happy to get around and answer as best we can. I'm going to introduce it to my panel. So first of all, I have Squidger. Introduce yourself, man.
How's it going? My name is Squidger, Chelsea fan, love football, love talking about football, so ready to rock.
Yeah, good man. And down below, we have GGMU Republic, a.k.a. Cole. How's things, Cole?
How's it going, lads? Cottle's my name, representing Man United on the Red Devils. Love football, chat about it to anyone. Literally love talking about it, discussing. It's great crack. It's good to see, and it's literally the only thing keep me going through lockdown.
Yeah, 100%, boys. That's it, exactly. And you know what? If there's one positive we can take from the whole lockdown experience is the likes of this. We can get together, put our heads together. We can still enjoy our passion, which is football. And yeah, look, my name is Anthony. You can see down below, Republic of Arsenal. That's me on Twitter. You can see the banner going down below the screen. You like, share, subscribe to the channel. You can follow the channel at Republic of Foot 1. And all the guys down below, you can follow them on Twitter, send them DMs, tell them how good a job they've done, stalk them, send us abuse, whatever you want to do, interact. But we're just happy for the interaction. So lads, look, we'll crack away with it. A couple of topics that I know we sort of agreed that we talk about in the week coming into this one. A big one that's in the news this week has been the Ajax goalkeeper, Andre Onana. Now, Onana has been handed an immediate 12-month ban for using what was deemed by the European Football Association. They deemed it a doping violation. Now, the story goes, he mistakenly used his wife's medication, which was a medication called furosemide, which it showed up in a urine sample. There was a random drug test done. This substance showed up, and he got an automatic 12-match ban. So yeah, look, what we're gonna do is basically we'll talk about the ban. Might go a little bit in depth into what that drug actually is, the length of his ban, and we'll do a few comparisons with a couple of other players in the past that have been popped for steroids and performance enhancers and other bits and pieces. So yeah, Squidger, want to get your take on the whole situation. 12 months excessive?
Very excessive, in all fairness. If you look back in the past at drug bans for even lads taking cocaine and stuff like that, they were only getting 6-month bans, whatever. This lad's after he said it was a mistake. Do you keep him at his word or do you take him at his word? It's a hard one to call. He said he mistakenly took it. He thought it was aspirin. I was actually looking up the 2 bottles, the furosemide and the aspirin bottles. They're a small bit similar. I don't know. It's a hard one to call, but definitely 12-month ban is too excessive, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. Now, look, I don't know if people are too familiar with what furosemide actually is. I think he took a brand. It was called furosemide, for anyone who doesn't know, is actually a diuretic. Now, I myself in the past have used diuretics. I've done, kickboxing, I've done mixed martial arts, I've done things like that. In that sport, or in those sports, we used to use diuretics when it used to come to, we would have certain weight classes that we'd have to make. And when trying to make these weight classes, you would come to your final couple of days and you'd have to flush all the water out of your system because you're about to jump on a scale. So you don't want to be carrying excess water weight. So basically, we would take diuretics. It would completely flush our system. We'd lose, it could lose up to 5-6 kg of water for the day that I stepped on the scale. To me, a diuretic is for that purpose and that purpose only. It's in no way performance enhancing. If anything, it completely drains your system. You're completely drained. You've no fluids left in your system. For an athlete cannot compete at the top level if he's taking diuretics. If you're thinking a diuretic is going to enhance your performance, in my opinion, they've got it completely wrong. Cathal, I'm not sure what your overall understanding of the diuretics and all that is, but as I kind of broke it down there, a diuretic completely flushes you. A football player needs to be hydrated.
A football player needs to be staying hydrated, especially a goalkeeper. Nearly after every save that he'd make, he'd go and stay hydrated, be focused for the next save. In terms of he felt ill, and UEFA always say that a football player has the duty of care to always not take drugs and ban substances or any performance enhancing drugs. In this case, I actually do feel so. I actually have sympathy for this player because, for him, he's a serious asset to Ajax, major assets.
Yeah.
So, for the rest of the season, who knows? But I just hope it gets overturned because basically, it looks like what he described. It's the same medication for aspirin. He took it immediately because he felt unwell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so unfair to them testers to rock up to his gaff, test him, take a urine sample off him, and then for him to be banned for such a length of time. I honestly don't think it should stand.
Yeah,
he's going to miss the African Cup of Nations as well now over it, which big.
Whatever about if a guy gets popped for something that's in his system and it is a performance enhancing drug and he's saying, look, I took it accidentally. Okay, look, fair enough, that might have been the case, but at the end of the day, they do say players have a duty of care to know what they're taking, what supplements. That's fair.
100%.
The fact that this is a diuretic, it's in no way a performance enhancer. I would take it on merit that it was an accidental thing because, or even if it wasn't, maybe he's carrying a bit of excess weight and somebody gave him the wrong advice and said, look, take this, you'll flush the fluids out of your body, you'll drop a bit of weight, and that'll be it. Now, diuretic is only a quick fix, it's going to flush you out, and then as soon as you start drinking again, the fluids are going to come back in your system and you're back to square one all over. So I can't believe for a second that he took this expecting that it was going to in any way benefit his football.
And to claim that, with the frequent drug testing that has been done for protocols, for him to think that he's going to get away with it. 100%. Edwin van der Sar, the chief executive for Ajax, he came out and said that unknowingly, of course, our players, don't take performance enhancing drugs, but we back our player, which in turn I'd back a player as well.
Yeah, 100%. You have to I think in a case like this, you have to take the player at his word, and then if it happens again, then you give him the ban.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's there's too much.
But this ban is significance. It has major significance now because for anyone just to suddenly feel unwell, to rush and take any medication, that's kind of where it's at. It's rushing to see quick fix, but that can easily happen.
Yeah, and look, he took what he took. Okay, it's on their list, but like that, given what it actually is and what it does, look, if you have to give him a ban, to me, 1 game, 2 game, 3 game,
and a fine or something,
100%. A fine,
12 months over something that in no way enhances performance.
It's crazy, really. You want to make an example out of him, but
it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Like I said, maybe in a different sport, maybe, like I said, in the sport of MMA or boxing or something like that, maybe you could say, okay, look, such a drug, it can't be used because it enhances your ability to be able.
In fact, it just dehydrates your ability.
Exactly. And like that, I can understand in those other sports, it might not be safe to use something like that because we've had it in the past. I'm not gonna swap into like a boxing or MMA podcast or anything like that. But just from experience, like you see how dangerous it is when guys do that. The extremes for weight cuts and that, and the liver failure that's involved, and it's potentially fatal. So I can understand why it wouldn't be allowed in certain sports. As I stressed already, in the likes of football, like 12 months for something like that.
We got to really say, like, in terms of the topic of doping, because I know COVID testing and all that kind of crack is now, that's the forefront of every footballer's mind, and there's a few outbreaks in clubs. But in terms of, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
London is blue, yup over.
Oh yeah, I agree. I like Ryan M. I agree with Ryan M there.
Yeah, I did see a video there, Gary. Diuretic mask banned substances. This is why I thought they're handled severely. Happens in Olympics, I believe. I seen a video from it was a bodybuilder actually who did talk about that, and he was just saying that that is true, that diuretics are used to flush the body of different substances. He did go in to say that this particular diuretic, this would show up in your system 100%. He said it was one of them that would be like, if you were trying to make it obvious that you were flushing your system, this is the one you would take. So again, look, maybe it was the case, and he was extremely badly advised by somebody. It's so hard to know. Like,
I can't see how he'd do it on purpose. To tell you the truth, like especially with the code, like players are getting tested all the time now. Like, there's no way you think you'd be able to get away with it. Like, that's.
I don't agree with you there, Stephen McCabe. Don't agree with you on that one.
Maria Sharapova's case.
Maria Sharapova, yeah.
Similar instance, yeah.
Well, lads, do you often think that how often a player does get tested?
Yeah, and a big shout out to Adam there in the chats. That's the man. It was Adam that actually showed me that video. So Adam, the bodybuilding expert we have, and look, big up to everybody in the chats. Like, thanks for coming in. Thanks for the comments. Even if they're incorrect with the London is blue, look, keep trying there, keep
100%, lads, keep them coming.
Kind of staying on the topic, how's things, Russ? Thanks for coming over. Kind of on the topic, it's along the same kind of lines, the diuretic. Do you remember Colo Touré in 2011?
Yeah, Man City.
For Man City. Now, he claims he took his wife's fat burners.
Yeah, water tablets or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, so again, same idea. The guy was trying to keep his weight down, which I guess, look, for a football player, it's understandable. And like, Touré was a big guy. He was never the most slim player, so I could understand trying to keep the weight down. Now he only got 6 months for that.
Yeah, that's how is it so inconsistent? Like,
again,
and
look, I'm not saying that a fat burner is performance enhancing, but if anything,
it's the same principle.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like he came out and said that he took his wife's tablets by mistake, and Onana came out and said he took his wife's tablets by mistake. So how is his span double the length? Like,
that's it. Hey, unless it's the same agent and he recommended, no, this is what you say for the cover up.
But would you believe, like, the first Premier League player to have been banned for using performance enhancing drugs would have been a Middlesbrough player? Would any of you remember him? Abel Xavier.
Oh, I know. He used to have the dyed hair.
Yeah. He was the first.
I was
He was the
November 2005.
Do you know?
18 months.
I actually don't think he was the first.
18 months.
I think the first. Well, sorry, you said the first for performance enhancing.
Yeah.
Okay, you might be right there, but did you know the first player in the Premier League, the very first player in the Premier League to be banned for using a substance? Now, we wouldn't consider it performance enhancing by any means, but it is. Now, you're going back as far here as 1995.
All right, 1995.
I'll let you have a little think.
Yeah, I do.
Back as far as 1995, yeah.
Not
Man, that's
Robbie
before my
Fowler.
time.
A bit before Robbie Fowler, was it? What's that? No.
Play for Crystal Palace. And he went on to play for Spurs.
Oh.
Where's the assembled?
Yeah. I was just about to say, you don't have the assemble to help you.
Who was it?
I said Fowler as well, Pat.
Does anybody remember Chris Armstrong?
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah, Spurs. Yeah, I can see him in a Spurs jersey, right?
Yeah. Now, Chris Armstrong was the first to get done in 1995 for cannabis.
Cannabis, right? That couldn't be performance enhancing.
Yeah. The first Premier League player to fail a drugs test. He missed less than a month because he was forced to attend rehab.
Okay.
There you go. Look, Brownie was on the money.
Go on, Brownie.
Brownie, you go right there. Really got me.
That's it. No, that was a good one. No, like I said, I'm not claiming I remember these things by any means.
Yeah.
Just a bit of research.
Just on the Gunners aspect of it, Sammy Nasri banned for 18 months.
What was he taking?
Former Arsenal player. He banned when he was at Sevilla, 2016.
What was he taking?
I'm not sure what the substance was.
Just
for taking the performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah.
He was attending some clinic as well, wasn't he? Wasn't there a story behind that? I think he was attending a clinic, and wasn't it his missus actually got his Twitter or something and start posting about having an affair with the doctor that was there. There was a big
can you imagine the scandal?
Yeah, there was a whole big scandal. But yeah, look, the Abel Xavier, as you were saying there, yeah, he got done anabolic steroids, 18 months.
Anabolic steroids. So steroids,
steroids are performed like big time.
Exactly. To me, that's fair. That's fair. 18 months.
Yeah.
That is performance enhancing. Completely fair.
I'd say the highest profile, let's say, ban or drug ban or whatever, maybe Rio Ferdinand in the Premiership anyway.
Yeah.
Just the Premiership.
Rio. Does anyone know the answer to the Brownies question there?
Who was that Strelsky now?
Without looking at the comments.
I actually have him here in front of me. Adrian Mutu signed for 17.1 million. September 2004, banned for 7 months after testing positive for cocaine. He was forced to pay the club 14.6 million, after which he was moved under forced circumstances.
Yeah, and we did have a few guesses there. Yeah, Mutu. Spot on. And
he actually got caught again when he was over in Italy later on in his career.
A Fiorentina.
Another.
And he actually still hasn't paid a cent to Chelsea. He hasn't paid a cent. He was ordered by the court to pay, but he hasn't paid them. So I don't know how he's getting away with that one.
I'd imagine Abramovich isn't that stuck for it. But
it's the principle.
The second time he got done, it was for taking an appetite suppressant.
Right. So
the first one was for cocaine, which again, 7 months for taking cocaine. I'm not advocating taking recreational drugs, but like, is that, in your eyes, is that a performance enhancing drug for a football player?
I don't think it's performance enhancing, but I think taking cocaine, it's such a bad image and such a bad role model.
It just increases the risk of psychosis and mental state for the player. Yeah. It's not going to be involved in football. He's going to get 100 grand for a week, example. What's he going to spend on? Because
you could have a footballer that's like thousands or millions of kids like role model or God or whatever look up to him, and then all of a sudden he gets caught for taking cocaine. The repercussions of that could be bad, because do you know what I mean? Kids could be like, oh,
the addiction after you finish up you hang up your boots.
Yeah, so
I definitely see the argument there of a player gets popped, say, for cannabis, cocaine. You're trying to set an example about image. What about the guys drunk driving?
Yeah, and
that's
actually a good point, Anton, to tell you the truth, because
it's not often you get one of them. No,
Yeah, drunk driving. It should be you should be getting a big ban for that, in my opinion, as well. Like, it's the example you're trying to set.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
For
mean?
the younger
Like,
generation.
yeah, obviously, like, people get caught drunk driving all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, non-sports people or non-soccer players or whatever.
Yeah.
So then when a soccer player does it or a famous person does it, it's blown up because they're famous. But
It's like in terms of not using drugs or anything like that, but in terms of speeding as well on the roads.
Yeah, they should be kept to higher standards though, because they're footballers or whatever. You have to set a good example. Like,
did you watch the documentary Sunderland Till I Die?
Yeah.
Did you see Johnny Evans? Or not?
Yeah.
Johnny Evans,
Gibson.
Sorry, Darren Gibson.
Very bad. They were just starting to go all right at the time as well. Gibson.
Watching this,
Stuff.
100%. Yeah. Actually, look, Brownie had a question there for us. Okay, there's a question now. A former Argentine World Cup star who lives in my urbanization here in Spain, banned for using cocaine, and played for Rangers and Dundee amongst other clubs. Is that did they have a centre back, or did Canigia play for them? Was it Claudio Canigia?
Reina, no, Reina. Claudio Reina. No?
He was American. I could be totally wrong. I thought I remember.
What was your answer, Anto?
Claudio Canigia. He might not have even played. Just for some reason he's in my head. And now it is it? And I promise you, I did not come across that earlier. I promise.
Good shout.
Canigia.
Great. What a shout. Recoba, Elden.
Great shout, boys.
Do you know, it was so good, I don't even believe
Listen, I haven't a clue who they are.
Do you know Recoba is? He at the start of Championship Manager 2001 2002. He's banned for 11 months for taking substances, taking illegal substances. That's why I know Recoba. And then after he's banned, he's actually really good in the game. Inter Milan, I think he was.
Well, see, he's really good because he's still taking the supplements while he's out.
Yeah.
Comes back, he's a beast. He's on the Mexican supplements. Yeah, see, as Brownie said, Maradona surely the highest profile. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get around to Maradona.
Yeah,
100%. Like on the whole, 1991 gets done for cocaine. Napoli, 15 months he gets for that.
Yeah, I'd say it was because that'd be like Messi. It'd be like Messi getting caught now.
Yeah,
you'd have to set an example of him. Like, he's, do you know what I mean? He's the highest player. Has to have the highest standard.
Just a role model for the sport.
Yeah,
in terms of the skill, what he brings to football.
Maradona got caught taking ephedrine then for the 1994 World Cup. He wasn't able to play in that then either.
Yeah, and you know what?
The 1994 was probably the most controversial one, was it?
Yeah, remember he went over to the screen.
Yeah, he went. Yeah, with the bulging.
Yeah, you could just see it was
after that game they realised he had a severe bad addiction to the substance.
Yeah, that's it. 1994 World Cup. He was sent home 2 games into the tournament after.
Yeah,
you know what? Ephedrine. That's another one I have experience with because I have taken ephedrine in the past. Ephedrine was banned here in Ireland in 2005, and believe it or not, I suffer really bad with nasal congestion and hay fever, and ephedrine, which I later found out was actually a form of speed. And
you're not only becoming a top.
It's a stimulant, yeah, and it's for nasal congestion, breathing problems. It's supposed to be a form of speed, but I used to get it in the antihistamines that I used to take as a child. And you know, I heard this one day. It was actually, I used to work in the airport. I think it was about 1920. I was working in the airport. And I worked with a girl who used to work in a pharmacy before that. And, you know, we were talking away. I think I was standing there blowing my nose and sneezing all day in the summer because I'd be dying all year round. Just this fucking thing here. But, yeah, she was listing off a lot of things. And she said, look, you can't get it anymore. But, you know, if you get ephedrine. And I was like, I used to hate that. And she's like, we know it's illegal now. She was explaining to me. I was going, All right. Where can I get it?
That's madness, man.
Well,
You need it from working in from where we work, like, you know, in a stuffy environment, like.
Oh yeah, I'm told, and maybe Brownie can confirm this from me. I'm told you can still get it in the pharmacies in Spain. So maybe Brownie might send it over to us. We might need it. We're doing a couple of late shows.
Be all right.
But lads, I mean, it's a role model for like Maradona to actually, like, you know, be called out on substances. It's just like, you want to set this kid you want to set this fella as the you know, the face of football, and he was at the time, no matter where he went.
He actually came out and said that like all the Argentina players were taking ephedrine back then. He said he said everyone was.
They all had terrible hay fever.
Question for Squidger: does he remember? I think we've already been through this. Adrian Mewtwo.
I have a question for Squidger. Do you remember the Chelsea player that got done for cocaine in 2002 and then got sacked by Chelsea? Banned for 9 months and sacked by Chelsea. Goalkeeper.
2002, sacked for Chelsea.
Yeah, he was a goalkeeper.
Jesus.
It's just going to turn into a question of sport or something.
Yeah, something like that. You have to catch him in the hot.
I'll throw that out there. If anybody wants to have a go at that. Ex-Chelsea goalkeeper. I think he played for.
I'm going to say Mewtwo. I don't even know.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. He came out and said after. He said that he only took it after when his soccer career finished.
Yeah.
How did I not think of that? He said he only started taking it after his soccer career finished. He said it was the most expensive habit he ever took up or whatever, something like that. But yeah, the boys are right there. Thanks, boys.
There was another former Chelsea player that got done for something as well. Do you remember Deco?
Yeah, from Porto. Yeah.
Yeah. When he was finishing up his career at Fluminense, I think he finished up. But apparently, he got a ban. Now, he was retiring anyway, and I think he got done with about 4 games left of his career, but continued playing and then retired. And then he tried to fight the ban, even though he'd finished playing anyway, and he'd already retired, but he tried to fight the ban. But yeah, look, there's a few other high-profile ones, like Rio Ferdinand. That was massive. That was a massive. Colin, you probably remember that one as a United fan.
Yeah, man, it was. You know, I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't really know too much about that one, because what season was that?
Yeah, sorry, I did forget how young you were.
Yeah, listen, boys, it's kind of like an age gap, but it's not too bad. I still kind of know, more of the present, the last decade kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
that was 2004, so you would have been, what, about 3?
3 and 4 would have been about 7.
7, yeah.
No,
we let you
United back then, but sure. Brutal memory.
I remember that one fairly well, Squid. You probably remember this one as well, because that was there was a big deal made out of that one. He failed to give a test, is what happened with Rio.
Yeah,
they came to test him, and he failed to submit a test. He was fined a ban for 8 months. He missed the Euros.
Yeah, 2004, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he went shopping. He said he forgot about the drug test and went shopping, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he was England's most expensive player ever at the time.
Yeah.
And he said he went shopping, like, you know, I don't know. What many months did he get? I have it here. 8? Was it 8 months?
He got 8. But didn't they eventually test hair follicles? And he did test positive for cocaine.
Something like that, yeah. He definitely got caught, yeah, for taking.
I wouldn't mind it. It was in around the time we had the bleach blonde hair, and I
hated United back then.
You still hate them now.
I hate them more now.
Yeah. I might just take 1 or 2 more. There's one for Liverpool fans. There's any Liverpool fans there? Mamadou Sakho, suspended in 2016. Again, fat burner. He ended up missing the Europa League final for Liverpool against Sevilla. And he claims that it ruled him out of selection for France for the European Championships in 2016. Now, he actually sued. He sued WADA, which is the World Association. He actually sued and he won his case.
Nice.
So he actually sued them and he won his case. And he only got a 30-day ban, but he sued and apparently got a nice payoff. They didn't disclose, but it was supposed to be a nice substantial payoff.
Enough to party with, anyways.
Rio on the Hirosh.
Serious defamation of character, though.
We can already see the Cahill influence in the chat box here.
100%. That boys they know what the Hirosh is.
Oh. And then, look, maybe we go to one more and then we move on to something else. A name that I'd say maybe Brownie probably remembers, or if the assembled was here, he definitely remember. The younger generation, a former Everton player, got a 2-year ban for an anabolic steroid testosterone booster. 2-year ban. I leave it to Brownie. Brownie will probably get this one.
Brownie's the man.
Again, I only know he's a former Everton player. I can't even list off who he played for.
Frank Machiavelli. Is that right?
No, it's a name like that. Like it sounds like a kind of an Irish name. I don't know. He might be Irish. I don't know. I just seen his name. I didn't really.
Us Irish wouldn't do anything like that.
No. Research. Why would we research? No, do you know what? It's possible he might have as well, but this isn't the guy I'm talking about.
I am not sure, to tell you the truth. How long ago was it?
Here. Don't be asking me questions like that now.
Years and years and years ago.
Young enough anyway, or it was old enough anyway that I don't remember.
Boys, this is a crazy stat for us, right? According to FIFA, 33,227 doping tests were carried out worldwide in 2016. Right? Keeping in mind there was 65,000 pros, both male and female, registered, but 0.29% tested positive. So, which means out of that, it was 97 samples that tested positive.
That's crazy.
So there was
Jesus.
less testing done for the majority of the footballers that are registered.
Yeah.
Just goes to show, like,
It's mad, yeah.
It's absolute madness.
Yeah.
But again, like, if you think Leo Messi was a kid. Wasn't supposed to be when Barca had agreed to sign him. They were bringing himself and the family and that over.
Yeah.
And they were giving him like medication, like growth hormones and stuff like that, because he was small and underdeveloped. And like that's essentially doping, you know? Like
that's performance enhancing at its best. Like.
Yeah. And
how to get away with that?
At that age as well.
Especially stacks of money handed over, brown envelopes. Keep that quiet.
It's only 13 or 14.
That's what I mean. How they ever got away with that? Like, how the hell they managed that now?
Remember Ronaldo's overhead kick against Juventus?
Yeah.
Even the crowd were actually, clapping for fair play to them, but he was straight away brought for a drugs test after that game because they deemed him supernatural.
Yeah, no, look, I've heard stories about like athletes that, again, going back to MMA, there's athletes that will come out and they'll say that they get tested over and over and over again. Like actually Conor McGregor said it. Do you remember for the Floyd Mayweather fight? He said he was getting tested every day, twice a day. And I think Mayweather only had to get tested once. Now, Mayweather was the show promoter. I think it was part of it was just annoyance tactics. Yeah, just hound this guy, just make him uncomfortable, just do his head in as well. But every day, and you can't say no. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're saying no, they're going, "What are you trying to hide?" If they show up the test, you've got to do the test. But maybe
if the amount of money he was getting paid, I wouldn't mind taking 2 tests a day either.
Well, yeah, that's it exactly. Messi must have required it medically. Yeah, well, look,
there's ways around it. I'm sure that's what they used to get around it. Like, do you know what I mean? Medically, he needs it or whatever. But
yeah,
but definitely.
I'm not sure on the rules, but like, if you require testosterone, are you allowed as a football player? Are you allowed to take the testosterone because that's performance enhancing, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't see how you would be allowed.
Growth and development of the player.
Yeah, again, just going back, it goes hand in hand so much, especially the last couple of years within the UFC. And I know a lot of the older guys, Vitor Belfort, for anyone who's a UFC fan, like when you see that guy when he was taking testosterone, and then when testosterone got banned, they used to call him TRT Vitor, and then he became Dad Bod Vitor. He was this guy hitting his 40s, and he was an absolute monster. And then suddenly these substances get banned, and you see half the guy he was. So, some people do require it because they produce less, but it's definitely performance enhancing.
That's it. You shouldn't be allowed to take it. That's it. Bottom line.
Yeah, that's it. Look, everyone should be on a level playing field, and I know in life not everyone is. Some people are born genetically just that bit quicker, stronger, whatever. But look,
that's life.
You just have to go with it. If someone's going to get performance enhancers, everyone should be allowed to take them. And then we'll be back to square one again.
I'll just do what Jamie Vardy does and have a Red Bull before every game, and you're on you're on your way.
But that's a performance enhancer. That's a stimulant, isn't it?
Oh, they'll probably say all sorts of stuff, but who doesn't love their vodkas and Red Bulls on a night out? You know what I'm saying?
I actually have a story about Red Bull from when I used to play football way back in the day. But I don't know why I'm even telling you this before, because you mentioned that anyway. But I had one of them nights. I had a game on the Sunday, and I just had one of those restless nights. I was up all night. Now I was about maybe 10, 11, if even. Didn't sleep all night, and got up the next day, and my dad was like, "Right, come on, get the boots now. We'll bring you down. We go to the game." And I was like this. I was like, I'm absolutely knackered. I can't. He goes, come on, we'll get you something. We get you a cup of coffee or something. And, when you're a kid, I'm like, no, I'm not touching coffee. He goes, come on, we get down to the shop. He goes, we get some of that Red Bull stuff. So I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, whatever. So never had the stuff in my life. Went down. He got me 2 cans anyway. So I buried these 2 cans, and I'm sitting in the back of the car. So we all showed up. I was just typical Sunday league. We're sitting there, we're waiting. We're 45 minutes, no sign of the other team. My stomach starts rumbling, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh man, I'm going to shit myself." And we just played out on the and I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there going, "Oh, my stomach is rumbling." I didn't realise the caffeine that was in it, and I'm one of those people. I
can't stand it. I don't know how people drink it. I swear to God.
I'm one of those people. I sniff a cup of coffee and I need to go to the toilet. You know what I mean? So to bury these 2 cans, and then of course we get the call. Yeah, the other team aren't showing up. You just get a walkover, and I'm sitting there, stomach rumbling. Right, so went back to the house. That was grand. Didn't get to play, so I was pissed off over that. I was still knackered, tired, and I spent the day on the jacks, absolutely shitting me ring up and it was. Worst game I ever showed up.
You're like a Gary Lineker, running the pitch.
Have you drank Red Bull since that, though?
Hey, look, if only Gary Lineker had the stories I had. His only involved.
He had wings when he drank Red Bull.
His are all about Walker's crisps. Mine are about cans of Red Bull.
Well, so lads, on the topic of refereeing and stuff.
Yeah, we crack away with the refs,
Yeah, the topic of refereeing at the weekend now. Some serious decisions made and overturned.
Looks like they're getting worse and worse every week.
Yeah.
VAR isn't helping them whatsoever. VAR is actually making the refs look a lot worse.
Yeah.
Because the VAR should be taking the pressure off the refs, but they're actually putting more pressure onto them because now they can actually go over. In
terms of having, going out on the street there, right, and just say you're standing outside, not even busking, but you just ask any randomer on the public and ask them, explain VAR and what it means in football.
Yeah.
Guarantee it. They'll say, haven't a clue.
Up the
baggies, baggy, boing, boing. But who? I don't even think the people who invented VAR could explain to you what it is like.
Yeah.
What's one aspect of VAR that you hate the most and that you want in terms of? I know VAR, there's loads of things to it, but
the ref should be mic'd up, and you should be able to hear what they're saying to the person in the VAR room, let's say, like to do it in rugby. Because at least when you're able to hear what the ref is saying, you're actually able to, how he actually came to that decision. You're not just sitting there going, how did he give a free for that? How did he give a penalty? Or how did he, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He actually explains why he did it. Now, you still mightn't agree with it, but at least you know why he did it. Whereas now you're just left in the dark.
Yeah, well, look, on the topic of VAR, there's the man himself that's making all the money. So what do you make of that record there?
I don't know. Is he a bit of a show? Does he like grabbing the headlines?
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Like, that's a lot of red cards, man. You're talking 1 in every 5 games. Like,
yeah, 110 out of 524 games.
That's
look at the yellow cards.
Yellow card.
Now, look, I guess in a sense, if you say he's reffing in the Premier League since the year 2000, you know.
Yeah.
Back when the league, and you know what I mean, the league was much tougher, more physicality in it, more challenges were going in, even to knee height.
Yeah.
They were getting away with back then. I suppose they were playing on rougher surfaces as well, but even saying the surfaces nowadays shouldn't affect the challenges even more. But
he's after receiving death threats though, which is scandalous. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's
it. I don't care who you are. That's just not on. There's no.
I mean, you're doing a job at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's it. Like,
it's a tough job. Who would want to referee these days?
Exactly. I was actually talking to one of my friends there today, and like, we were saying, like, in all fairness, who would want to be a referee? Like, who? Like, I was looking up to get paid. Like, I think they're on an annual retainer of like £42,000 a year, and then they get £1,150 per game, something like that.
Yeah.
And like, for the amount of abuse they get, is it worth it? Like,
yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah,
they should have a clause in one of their contracts saying, "Here's $100,000 for the level of abuse you get." Like.
Yeah. Look, there's no money in the world you can get paid to be putting up with death threats. Like, you know, imagine, like, say for ourselves, you know, in the office that we all work in, you imagine having although in fairness, I've had a few days where I've been close to having death threats from some of the lads. but
you'd
be lucky to even have a bag of chips across the counter.
I was on your channel there. We were chatting there a few days ago on Republic of Arsenal, and I actually said that what Brownie's after saying there. I actually mentioned that when I was talking to you the last day.
Yeah.
Remember on about the challenges like the NFL do. Yeah. I think that's a really good point by Brownie there. It's just to clean up so much, like, exactly. And if you actually win the challenge, then you don't lose the challenge.
Yeah.
So, you know.
100%. Like, fucking the whole VAR debate. It's just look, my kind of belief as well. Like, obviously, we know the VAR. It's there to help the ref, but we had a good chat last night on Arsenal Fan Circle about like VAR referees, and you know, a lot of people believe that it's a case of like the refs and VAR. They almost don't want to. Like VAR, I think to an extent, don't want to throw their mate under the bus. You know what I mean? You don't want to kind of go, here, look, you got that wrong. You know, change that decision. And even sometimes when they're making a recommendation to change the decision, I think the ref is a bit like, you know, like the old school ref. You just take the likes of Mike Dean, seems fairly egotistical. You know, he makes a call, VAR telling him it's wrong, and he's saying, "Oh, hang on, I'm right." You know what I mean? I think they're not willing to admit that
one's
they're
to help one out, one's to help, like, it's to help each other out on this. It's not that one overrule another. It's to get to common ground and make the right decision.
I don't know how they're getting it so wrong. It's I think they actually made it too. Like, it should be a simple thing. VAR should be simple. It should be for offside. If it takes 30 seconds to a minute to decide whether some lad's offside, that's not clear and obvious. No. So the advantage has to go to the attacker. Yeah, we were talking about this before. But like Souček's red card the other day, how Mike Dean actually went up, looked at that on the monitor, and then looked at it about 15 times, and then came out and actually gave him a red card. Like, in my opinion, Mike Dean should be sanctioned for it. Like, because if players make a mistake, they get banned or they get fined or something happens. But if a ref makes a mistake,
make a mistake in reality, major mistakes in our jobs, we'd face a sanction. We'd face the reality of the problem being caused to the business.
How come it's not for the rest? Like, how come the rest don't?
It's because
Do they get dropped down a league or for a couple of days or for a couple of games or anything like that? It's like I know Mike Dean.
I think that used to be the system, wasn't it? As far as I can remember, there used to be a system like that. I don't think that exists anymore.
No, yeah. Well, something should exist.
I think if you're going to be using VAR and they're still going to be getting decisions wrong, and we can all blatantly see that the decision is wrong, they have to bring in some system. Like the likes of that, see there, the Suchek one right there. Now that was overturned. So
gladly overturned.
Yeah, exactly. And
because Mitrovic even said it. It was
Mitrovic said it, but Mitrovic is a lot to answer for as well because he went down as if he was after getting it.
Put Mitrovic in the octagon, I guarantee he wouldn't act like that.
Oh. But literally, if I was playing a game of soccer with my nephew and he's 7 years of age and I caught him with a little tiny elbow like that by mistake, obviously accidental, he wouldn't even notice it. I wouldn't say.
Yeah,
but these players now, it's like, I'm going to gain an advantage here. If I go down to the ground holding my face, I could get this lad sent off.
Yeah,
you look like a clown, but you're getting an advantage for your team.
Yeah,
but
did Mitrovic come out and say that after the red card?
He was trying to actually tell Mike Dean not to send them off. He got up off the ground and then he was like, no, don't send them off. But the damage was done at that stage.
The drama that he put on was done.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, that's it. Look, he went down like he'd been shot. He went down.
Yeah, with VAR, when Mike Dean, or I heard after that, like the VAR said, you need to go over and look at Suchek's fist. His fist is clenched.
Yeah,
and like that's why they were giving him the red card. Like, how does that make sense? Like, if his fist is clenched, he I don't know. Yeah. It was a ridiculous decision anyway.
Yeah, no, look, I'm glad it was overturned.
Yeah, but how was David Luiz's not overturned? That's what I don't understand. Bednarek's was, and David Luiz's wasn't.
Yeah, Bednarek's was.
Yeah,
Martial said
crazy. Crazy.
So Bednarek was roaring to Mike Dean. Listen, like Martial is saying the exact same thing I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's not a foul. But players that are on the opposition, they should be running over to us. Look, it was a theatrical drive. I actually died.
Yeah.
Why aren't they doing that?
Yeah,
that's the likes of even. Did you watch the City and Liverpool game?
Yeah.
What did you make of Mo Salah and Ruben Diaz?
I do not like. There was enough contact to make him go down. Probably not.
But Salah, like.
Yeah, but but players being players now. Like I know Salah's just cute. I think there isn't enough contact to make Salah go down, but Salah knows if he stays up, he's not going to win a penalty. If he goes down, he's more than likely going to get a penalty because they're going to look at VAR in slow motion. And 90% of things look like a penalty when you put them in slow motion.
Yeah,
well, you know what I mean? The slightest touch.
If you look at that there, right, this is the problem with the refereeing and the VAR and that, the inconsistency. The one on the left, that's Salah and Ruben Diaz.
Yeah.
That was a yellow card. Do you see the one on the right?
Yeah,
that's David Luiz and Riyad Mahrez. Now that one was a red card. It was the same challenge.
Is it because David Luiz has a kind of history, or has it this?
In terms of, do you remember David Luiz when he was at Chelsea and he was in the corner flag, and I don't know who I believe he got challenged and he gave a little smirk.
Yeah, he gave the smirk. That was.
I think I don't know. I'm not saying it's catching up on him, but for that to be a red card and Diaz a yellow.
Yeah.
Who was refereeing that game?
It was United. We were playing United, was it?
Probably. Yeah, you're right. They're right. Playing us.
Yeah.
And he did a little smirk at the camera.
Yeah, he had a little smirk. Yeah. He was like, he went down as if he was after being shot, but then he gave the little smirk. Like, that's just
Sideshow Bob.
No, I remember that one, but I'll just show you just a different angle of those challenges there. So again, look, if anything, there was even less in the Salah one, to be honest, but the David Luiz
and Salah's roaring there, absolutely roaring.
Oh, but I actually said this to Anto before when we were chatting about it. Like the young lad for Leeds, Podate, what's his? Can you remember his name?
Poveda.
Remember I was saying this to you before. Poveda had a chance. He came on in a game for Leeds this season, and he got clipped in the box, but he stayed up, and then he actually hit it wide. If he went down, it was 100% a penalty.
Yeah.
But the fact that he actually was trying to do the right thing and the honest thing, he stayed up. He actually didn't win a penalty, and which probably would have scored. Salah knows if he knows there was contact. Now enough contact to go down, maybe not, but he knows there was contact. So you like players now. They roar and go down. Every player does this, not just Salah.
There's a good point there in terms of like how long does it actually take for those to actually go back and to make the decision?
And this is like we were saying about
Shout out to Ryan on that one.
Yeah, 100%. Look, if it takes that long, it's not clear and obvious.
That's what I mean. And then, like all the decisions, like you never or rarely do you see the time being added on correctly at the end of the first half or at the end of the match. Yeah. Like a decision might take 2 minutes, and there might be 4 or 5 decisions in the half. Or
define blatant and obvious. Define obvious.
That's where they're actually catching themselves out because it's so too much of a grey area.
Yeah, it's like the whole concept.
If you look at the Championship compared to the Premier League, it's still based in England, but you will notice far more contact in the Championship.
Brownie, we're in the Championship. We don't want your rejects as referee. Look, I think there's a system, right? Because if you have guys, and it's like a league table, say for referees in the Championship and in the Premier League. Like I remember that being a thing. Maybe it wasn't. I definitely remember there was some kind of point system before. If a referee, especially with VAR, Mike Dean, for example, sends off Souček, has to go to VAR, looks at it and says, still a red card. So sticks by his decision. That gets overturned by the panel. That obviously says Mike Dean got that wrong. Now, the worrying thing is Mike Dean got it wrong and then backed himself up that he got it wrong.
Yeah.
And then was told, actually, you got that wrong. Now, that ref should be losing points there. You know what I mean? The amount of cards you give.
21 years. Sorry, 21 years now ref in the Premier League.
Yeah, no, look, the likes of that now, like, I wouldn't be, look, if a guy just happens to ref 38 games, or obviously not 38 games, but just whatever, he refs 20 games or whatever he refs, and he happens to give 10 red cards. He just maybe gets unlucky. He just gets the heated games. He just gets to some odd moments. He's no choice but had to hand out more cards than others. I wouldn't deduct them points for giving out too many. But if it's excessive decisions, the ones that are being overturned and that, then I would be deducting points. Like sometimes a ref has to give a booking, whether you like it or not.
You should get warning. They should get a warning first.
But lads, when you watch football, like, do you want to see contact? Do you want to see physicality? You want to see lads?
100%. Like,
but now, how much do you see that? How much is that taken away?
You can't tackle anymore. A proper tackle now is like you're getting sent off for proper tackles now. Like,
and as you said, it's because of the roaring and shouting.
That's it. And no fans in the stadium either. So the ref could hear you from anywhere on the pitch. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's a great point there where Gary, VAR should be run by not active officials, conflict of interest. It's the truth.
Third parties can be, third parties, we have to know who's doing who's doing this.
You have to know who's doing it, but they have to be run by football people as well. Like,
guys have understanding. But it's like, if you even look at that Peter Walton guy in the BT studio, he's backing up every decision that the referee on the pitch is making. They're his mates. They're his mates.
That's
colleagues.
Like, what about getting a group of ex-players in there or an ex-player to go in and run it? Like,
it's such a hard one though, because like, let's say for example, you throw Roy Keane, Frank Lampard, and fucking Thierry Henry in there. Who are they gonna give the decisions to? When it comes to it. Okay, if you get these ones, maybe. And the panel is there, and they've never played for any of the clubs that are playing. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's one Premier League referee I miss the Premier League. It's Howard Webb.
I just want to say to Aina Ryan there that Saka is a poor man's Mason Mount. He's definitely an Arsenal supporter, I'd say.
Not a chance.
He's a poor man's Mason Mount.
Now listen, one referee I missed in the Premier League is Howard Webb, boys. He allowed the physicality.
Yeah, he was very good. And
you ever see when players get ratty at him, he just stands up straight, blows the whistle right in their face, and then they just like look like they're going to shit themselves.
Lads, we need Colina to come back out of retirement to come to the Premier League.
Colina was the man.
Yeah.
The eyes bulging out of his head.
Come back.
He'd be on performance and Hallison drugs.
I'm going to throw up the stats here. This is the Premier League referee stats for this season so far.
I'm just
gonna throw.
Dean is by far the worst, isn't he?
He's by far the worst in terms of getting things wrong.
Yeah, this is the one I was looking at. Can you zoom in on that? Yeah, so. Yeah, like Mike Dean has 3 less games than Martin Atkinson, and he's 4 more red cards.
Yeah.
So here's shout out to the lads who do bet builders in terms of who gets carded and how many cards are going in the match. Here is some statistics to follow.
Yeah, good thinking actually.
And there's every Arsenal fan's best mate, Craig Pawson, down the bottom there.
Yeah.
Now there is another ref. Now, when I was looking at it earlier, I couldn't fit his name on because he's a fair bit down again, and he'd something like 9 games and 4 red cards. I can't even remember his name, but
yeah. But I don't know, like I just said earlier, some refs just might get the high intensity games, or you might get a Liverpool Everton game where there's more than likely you might get a red card, like. So you have to factor in, but like Mike Dean, it seems to be so consistent that he's. I'd say if you look back through the last 20 years, I'd say Mike Dean could be the top most years in red cards.
Oh yeah.
You just have to question whether he's is he doing it for a bit of the kind of the front of the papers or the back of the papers, like.
Yeah, 100%. You see, as Gary says there now, like I think that's a great point. Like, rescind the red due to diving, so no yellow. So, like, I think in that situation, Souček has the red card taken away. So, and that's basically saying, okay, it wasn't a valid red card, so the player must have made a meal of it. Does that player who made a meal of it, should he not be punished now?
He should be punished. Definitely should be punished.
Mitrovic should get the card.
Well, see, there was
100%.
contact. I don't know about Mitrovic getting it. See, like he dogged it, and he absolutely
for anyone that's doing that,
it's you could say the same thing about like that. David Luiz got sent off the other day. He accidentally took your man down. There was no intention of taking your man down at all. Yeah. Like Mitrovic got a little tap. He did get hit, and he went down. So there was contact. Now he made a holy show of himself, but there was contact. So can you give a player a card for that?
100%, because you're going to go tackle the ball, and you get majority of the ball, and then get the player after it, and he dives, and it's deemed a foul, but then it's overturned.
Yeah. See, this is where VAR has created a monster, because, as I said, the players know they've only got to be able to show that there was contact. Now, it doesn't matter, like and I know it's not enough contact to knock you off your feet, but if you look on the camera and you can turn around and say, well, there was contact, that's why it went down.
Yeah.
So,
and VAR is making players go down that easy now as well, because they know that it's going to be looked at, and if there's any raising of the arm at all to the face, it's a red card now. You know what I mean? But it was clear that Souček didn't mean it, like.
Oh yeah, 100%. And there, like the Martial one, Bednarek, his was taken away as well.
Yeah,
that was Mike Dean again.
Like Martial definitely, he nearly jumps into Bednarek. There was contact, but Martial left the leg trailing for the contact to come. Like, it's there.
I'd almost say in Martial's defense, though, to me, it sort of looked like he was anticipating the leg. So kind of, which I know again.
Well, look, you play like lads play for penalties. It's that's just.
I'm not even going to, in terms of speaking about that, sure, everyone says Bruno when he scores penalties. He's a player that is of kind of topical.
He's class. I hate
he's a solid player, but he just doesn't score penalties and he doesn't dive. But he is, I have to say, the first game.
He does dive.
The first game of the season is hilarious. Where James McCarthy just comes in and he flips around and acts as if he got hit, and there was no contact whatsoever with him at all. He wasn't even in near.
Well, what did you make of when Cedric Suarez apparently elbowed Bruno in the face that time?
It was it's a tough one. Like it's
And
not.
the one outside the box. Do you remember the one outside the box where Bruno went down like he'd been shot by a sniper?
Yeah.
I
don't like Bruno Fernandes because of stuff like this, and I don't like him because he's a United player. But if I'm
overall,
honest,
you like him as a player.
If I'm going to be honest, yeah, you can't deny the man his quality. Like,
yeah, look, 100%. Look, Bruno Fernandes.
But like, for example, one of my favorite players of all time, Didier Drogba, when he came to the Premiership first for about 5 years, he was the worst diver out there. And he's like a big, strong man, he was the worst. Any touch at all, he was going down rolling 16 rolls. He was very bad. Yeah. But that's just the way. Ronaldo, when he came to the Premiership first, he was the same. I think the United players actually said. I think the United players within the dressing room actually had to tell Ronaldo, "You need to cop on. We don't do this over here." Kind of cut it out a bit, like. Well, you have to.
Fairness, boys, true, because
you have to admire the United for that, like.
Yeah,
I hate saying it.
There's one there for you, Squidger. What you make of the tackle on Saka near the halfway line? Saka is. I
told you that Saka is a poor man's Mason Mount. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Hey, do you know what? Saka is the type of young player Chelsea would spend 60 million on just to loan him out for the rest of his career.
Just to loan him out,
and then he would have come back and signed for Man City to win the league.
Mason Mount's a better player than Saka. Definitely.
No.
He
can't form right now.
Is Mason Mount, in fairness, had a better career in the Championship than Saka did. I'll give him that.
Saka's had about 3 or 4 good games. You're all about him.
There's quality.
He is a good player. I'm only having to crack. I actually know it right. I'm only having to crack.
No, but you see that one there, right? The tackle. I found it mad today. One of the former refs. I actually reposted this on Twitter. Now, look again. When I was on the Arsenal fan circle last night, it was brilliant. Now we had it was a level 4 referee was actually in the chats, and he was brilliant. Like we were firing questions at him, and he was answering it. He was a friend of one of the guys on the panel, so he was legit. Like. And he was like explaining, bits and pieces with the rules and the likes of that as well. And he was saying there actually is no last man rule. There is no rule for last man. In terms of that one, we spoke about this thing the last day, and I saw her saying, look, common sense will tell you, Saka is probably getting by Konsa there, and he's probably through on goal. But look, technically there is no rule. And
he still had a fair distance to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying from my take.
He did have a fair distance to go.
You could argue the point that a player would have got back to him.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But the point is, Saka did not foul Konsa, and that's a fact.
Well, that was the argument. If you saw what I reposted on Twitter, what was your man's name? Former referee. The names after escaped me there, but he literally was saying, well, to be honest, they asked the opinion, should have been a red, should have been a yellow, and he said, well, to be honest, I think Saka fell Konsa. And you're going, you're clutching here, lads. You're really clutching at straws now. Salah was fouled.
No, he wasn't fouled.
Was that in the City game or in a different game? Because he definitely wasn't fouled with Ruben Diaz.
No, definitely not fouled by Ruben Diaz. He roared 100%. And shouted.
No, he wasn't.
For the penalty yesterday.
Yeah.
For the penalty,
he was. I thought he was fouled.
Again, look, if you looked at VAR,
Ruben Diaz made the mistake. Salah went in behind him. He grabs him by up here. He grabs him there. Like it's the slightest and minimal, but you're not allowed to grab another person's jersey.
Well, look,
that's in the rules. That's
we'll agree to disagree. Diaz put his hand on him and he shouldn't, but Salah dived. Salah would have won gold in the Olympics for that dive.
Salah went down like a ton of bricks, but I would have done the exact same thing if it was me running through and goal.
Well, it was pure theatrics. It really was. And
Salah's touch actually got away from him, and I think it was Stones was coming across. Salah seen that he wasn't going to get the ball, and then he went down. 100%, he dived. He went down, but the contact was there.
Yeah, but this is like what we were saying about the kind of dishonesty. I like that. You can throw a million different examples of dishonesty. There's not many you can throw in terms of player being honest, but I did say this to you. Remember was it the last day we were talking? I wonder
what the boys are like in training. Are they practicing the triathlon?
Jeez, it's crazy.
Yeah, they're gonna be going down, rolling around the place.
They go down. Ah,
Yeah, I'd say they do, to tell you the truth. It's just instilled in them now. That's just the way
you're
they are.
going to the gym and you're trying to You're trying to gain and build yourself. You know, for what? To fling yourself, dolphin dive on the pitch, roaring and shouting, they're never going to play again.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But did anybody see this man the other day, Belotti?
Yeah, I seen it. Class.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Now, that game, I think that game ended up finishing 3-3. But did you see that he went through just outside the box? Guy came up attacking and he lost his footing, and he said no to the referee. It wasn't a free kick, but the ref gave the free kick regardless. And fair play to him. He played the ball right back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, that's class. You love seeing that. It's very rare you see it in football.
Well, that's
The
the
sportsmanship of Belotti there now.
Yeah,
His
that's
team
class.
was 3-0 down. And he would have done anything. I'm sure anyone else
Did he score two? Did he score 2 out of the 3 to bring it back? Did he? I think he definitely scored 1.
And a good look in that, you see.
That's karma.
Yeah. Well, look,
But that's just class. It's just, you know what I mean. I think Marcelo Bielsa for Leeds manager, he won the Fair Play Award. Remember last season in the championship?
You mean the season before? Because in that season, then, so you're talking not last season. Yeah, the season before. The season before.
Leeds scored while Aston Villa was a codger or something, was down injured, and then Bielsa ordered them.
Sorry, just giving a shout out there for Brownie. If anybody,
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so what you were saying there, Squidger, in terms of, you know what I mean, Bielsa allowing.
Bielsa ordered these players to let Adama from Aston Villa score from touch. You know, it's like, and I like Leeds were close to, or they went to the playoffs or whatever. You know, it was important matches. It was 1-1.
Yeah.
So like it's the bit of class in football that you get. Class is permanent. Like you can't beat it.
Didn't that involve then Janssen, the club captain, I think, at Leeds at the time, was he?
Janssen, yeah.
To go absolutely skits. It was he's a pedigree type player that why are we doing this? This is unsportsmanlike. Why are we actually committing a goal that's going to affect everything we worked hard for all season?
Yeah, but I think it's the principle.
So he got sold. He now is gone. Bielsa, he's not in Bielsa's team now. And look where they are.
If Bielsa tells you to do something, you do it. That's what.
I agree. He's a class act. I take him on United, so he would 100%.
Bielsa's. You have to say the job he's doing there at Leeds is phenomenal. Saka is the GOAT.
Saka is the GOAT.
Tom Brady is the GOAT.
Tom Brady.
There you are now, Squidge.
Mount is so
overrated. It will be.
I don't know how you're seeing that. He's been Chelsea's best player this season. I know there hasn't been a many of them. I'll say that, but Mount is a good player. Definitely.
Yeah. There's one again for you. Not an Arsenal fan, Squidger. Leeds all my life.
I'd say he is, yeah.
I'd like to thanks for all the lads who came in and joined us to the show today.
Yeah, brilliant. Especially the first our first video. It's always good to see the comments coming in.
Yeah, look, we'll wrap it up now in a couple of minutes. Just on that one there with Brownie, I've heard of players practicing diving on the training ground, as unfortunately it's a way of gaining advantage nowadays. Do you know what? I seen this clip. Oh, this was going back a few years ago. I can't remember where I saw it. I think it was on one of the Sky Sports. They had this little program. They were going around and they were showing like different youth academies and stuff like that. And I can remember it was this academy over in Egypt, and they were talking to this young lad, and they were actually saying, Arsenal have, formed links with this academy, and they do a bit of scouting over there and stuff like that. And they asked this kid, how do you feel? Like, you've coaches coming over, you're associated with Arsenal, and he was going on saying, no, it's great. I'm learning so much. They're telling me, where I should be, movement, blah blah, all this. And And he said something like, "Oh yeah," and they tell me the right time to fall down and the right, and I was going, "Oh, God,
Sorry, bad.
don't
Imagine teaching your lads that. Sorry, bad.
It's just like
Brownie is another. I actually had this point taken down from when I was looking them up earlier. Remember DeCanio's one against Everton? Their keeper Paul Gerrard like collapsed or whatever, and the cross was coming in. It was 1-1 in the 90th minute, and DeCanio nearly an open goal. Like he just catches the ball, like that's. It was 2 years after he pushed the ref. Remember he was after going full circle of pushing the ref, getting the big ban, and then he just catch the ball. Now I thought that was brilliant.
You'd only see them in the likes of the Asian Arab leagues and stuff. You'd only see all that crack going on, the pushing the refs and taking the red card off them.
Oh, you can see that like in like Brazil and that when everybody runs on the pitch and attacks the ref.
I have to give Neymar a shout out for it when we're talking about the diving. Remember during the World Cup there, the last World Cup, with the one in Brazil, the World Cup in Brazil. Remember he was like I think there was actually a stat like it actually said the amount of time Neymar spent on the ground. I can't actually remember what it is.
It was something like 10 minutes or something of
ridiculous. Like, do you know what I mean? And he there rolling around the place, and it was in Brazil, and he was meant to be their main player, and he's going around rolling around the ground. Like I actually,
what month is it? It's March, isn't it? The month of March. Neymar's always got injured.
The sister's birthday, isn't
it? It's coming up soon, boys.
I actually
break COVID rules to get to that.
I heard I don't know how true it is, but I heard that apparently part of why he signed his new contract is because it's in his contract that he's allowed have that time off. And it was someone, do you know what? It might have been Emery or someone that said it, that they put it in his contract, and he was asked why. It might not have been Emery, it might have been whoever else. I think it was Emery, but they asked, why is it that he was allowed to have this in his contract? And he said, well, I know he's going to get himself suspended or he's going to get injured anyway, so I might as well just let him have it off, either way, because he always planned his yellow cards and his suspensions in around that date.
Just don't get it.
Yeah, it's madness. It is. How would you sign a player to, like, if a player is asking for time off at a certain date or a certain time of the year before, like when he signed his contract, you don't bring a lad like that to your club. Do you know what I mean? No. I want this time off. Like it's like you're paying the man.
If you were in charge of a football club tomorrow morning, just say you signed for Dundalk, you're a manager of Dundalk. Would you accept like principles over anything else? Principles and just do your basics right. Attend training, go to games, play your best, and whenever you're giving them €500 a week, but still, do you know what I mean? It's the principles.
Yeah,
like if he has a bonus in his contract for at the end of the game, he gets a bonus for going over and applauding the fans.
So a bonus to actually congratulate people who's hard working money to attend their
exactly. Why would you want someone like that at your club? Like I
just use this, and it's kind of a different topic. Like David Beckham has made more money off EA Sports than he ever did in his entire footballing career.
Yeah.
By allowing him to be on the FIFA franchise, he has now gained so much.
Just looking at Enda's comment there, I know someone who gets Sundays off. Just saying.
On the bookies open back up.
Someone who gets Sundays off.
Stop, yeah.
Yeah, lads. Look, I think we've kind of covered everything now for tonight, and look, we don't want to overdo it too much for the first one. So, look, I want to give a big shout out first and foremost to everybody in the chats, everybody.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, everyone that came and watched tonight. Like that, it's a little bit rough and ready. We'll find our feet, we'll find our rhythm. But no, look, lads, you are brilliant. So look, I'm delighted we got number one out of the way.
Yeah.
100%, lads. Nice chatting to us.
Yeah, no, look at this. It's a pleasure as always. And
we'll have another one up soon.
And you need to let us know where we can get a job like that, because we do not but work weekends.
Sadly, it's our busiest time is the weekends.
That's it. That's why we're doing this. So hopefully we can We can do this full time at some stage. If all goes according to plan.
That's the dream.
We'll be the new RTE panel. We'll be replacing all the boys. They're all getting on a little bit now, so I think we'll be taking over from the lads. But yeah, lads, look, we'll wrap it up there. So yeah, a big thanks to the lads on the panel, Squidger and Cole. Big shout out to everybody that has already subscribed. Anyone who hasn't, please go onto YouTube and check it out. You know, like, share, subscribe.
Please.
You can see all the Twitter handles down below. Follow this show on Twitter. Follow all of us. You can do whatever messages. I don't care. Give us abuse. It's all a bit of banter.
Throw anything at us, lads.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anything is welcome.
That's it. So yeah, look, as well, don't forget to hit the bell. Click on the bell. That way you'll be notified every time we have a show coming up. So yeah, look, we'll leave it there. Thanks again for watching.
Thanks, lads.
See you soon.
All the best.
Over and out.